Little update on the R series. I have been very busy on this in the past week. It is incredibly enjoyable. It's very rewarding to see this truck finally get all the upgrades, TLC, whatever you want to call it, that it deserves. Because it's been patiently waiting while I concentrated on other trucks over the years. But yeah, we're finally getting there with this, so it's really cool to see. So, I was very busy. Basically what I started off with was I took everything, especially behind my hand, off the chassis, and I cleaned it all, because back here around the rear suspension it was disgusting. Years worth of dirt, grime, dust, stuff that it picked up, bits of grass and all sorts was sat in there. Ugh. So stripped all the plastics, washed them all in soapy water, took the axle apart actually just to make sure the bearings and all that were fine, which they were, which is all good. And then I put it back together again and I converted it to a single tag, so it's got a 140mm wide axle in there. Servo is above here and it works really well. And I went to my dad's and got a load of spares, as I showed you a little bit in the last video. So got this rear section in place which looks pretty good, really happy with that. And then the double rear lights, so I had another set of rear lights, factory ones. I just cut the two sets up and put them together. There's no glue involved in that, they're basically just two screws for each set that go through the rear arch piece. You can just see the two there, and there's two more just up there. I didn't really want to glue it if I could avoid it. The only thing I've noticed is that obviously these ones here were second hand. They're actually dark blue but not black, so might have to paint them black, or yeah, I think so, probably gonna have. And I'm gonna have to paint this piece because it's not the right shade of blue, plus I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but there was something sticky on this side, a sticker or something. It's left a bit of residue, so I gotta, I don't know, probably won't focus, but I need to get rid of that. So there's a lot of little things on this truck I need to get painted now, including the deck plate, which as you can see I've started. So these were on there already. This one here I bought from Aztec because it's got this end that sits in here quite nicely, and a little Vabis symbol that will go in that circle. And then I've ordered bits to go in here to cover up that bolt. I'll put a picture up, but they're on the way from AliExpress. The tracking isn't brilliant, but as far as I can tell they should be here in the next 24 hours as I'm filming this. So they'll go in there with a little extra marker light there, which is great. And then I've just started this last night, brought a sheet of checker plate from Aztec, and I've just started it. It's not finished, I've got to do something about this edge. Just can't have that, that's a bit dangerous. But what I'm going to do is, with a bit of cut off, is I've just tried it. I'm going to chamfer the outer edge, and that will come down in behind the side skirt but right up to it. I think that'll look nice. Easy said than done. Easier said because I gotta, this side's not too bad, I've got to do that outer edge, and I want to chamfer this back bit as well just so it tucks in, so it will look like, instead of that up against the arch, it will look something like that. That's what I'm going for. So as I say, this side won't be too bad. Chamfer that outer edge, chamfer this back edge. This side's going to be challenging because I've got to do what I did on the other side, plus I've got to tuck it around this step up here, and yeah, so that's going to be fun. I'll leave that for another day. And because I put this aluminium on the A-frame stack bracket, whatever you want to call it, I can't actually access the pin now to tilt the cab, so I've ordered a release catch, one I use on that one, and yeah, one on that one, the crane truck and the wrecker. So it's on the springs, the handle's up here, you just pull it and then releases the cab and you can tilt it up. So that's happening. Also swap the gearbox out for a single speed Lasso unit, which is much better than the colossal, overly complicated factory gearbox, because the one Tamiya make, you only ever use one gear anyway, so, and it's huge, that unit, so might as well get rid of it, clear up some space. And I put a Lasso unit, the one I've got in there is actually a 5:1 ratio. They do make a 14:1 as well, which is in those two. I'm going to try the 5 because it was in my spares. If it works, great. If it's too fast, I'll switch it out for a 14. I've ordered another 14:1 anyway, so if I need it, it's there. So that's that. Steering upgrade, put the 13 kilo servo in it, a digital one, and the KK truck stools servo mount. The only thing I've noticed is the front ride height is a bit low, and I haven't even put the low bar back on yet, so it'll be even lower. So what I'm probably going to do is put the front shocks back on, but I can't put them on where they were because of the steering linkage, so I'm going to have to move them behind the axle, which is a little bit of work, but I can do that. And I've got these 15mm quite sturdy springs. I bought a packet from Amazon actually, as well as some 20mm ones as well, because they're a hell of a lot sturdier than the ones that are included in the kit. So I've got a set of them in the back, so gives it a nice ride height, and it's got quite good compression on it as well. So yeah, I do need to get new wheels. I want to go get what I've got on my others, Alcoas and Michelin's. You know, I'll have to talk to you about that, because that needs to be sorted. I can't have these things on there, they look like a toy. And I'm in two minds whether to put low profiles on the tag. What do you think? Super singles, but whether to keep them standard profile or low, I'm not too sure. But yeah, anyway, Alcoas, and then I'll get the donut rings on the front steer axle, so I can. The idea is I'm going to paint the hubs blue with a white dot, and then the ring there I'll paint that silver, and then I want to get a Scania R620 in black on there. I think that'll look really nice. I've got the panel that goes in this gap, but it's currently behind me. I'm stripping the paint off so I can repaint it. And a lot of people say keep the aero kit off. Personally, I don't like this generation with the aero kit off very much. It's, you know, everyone's different, but personally I don't quite like the look of it fully, so I put it back on. And I like the S series without the aero, but this one, I don't know. So, but I like the aero, so I'm putting it back on. Plus that means I can put a perimeter kit on, which you can bet your ass I've got on the way. So I put the rear work bar on here as well. That was on the crane truck. I thought it would look better on this, because with the crane truck it'll be obscured 90% of the time. So I thought I'll do that. It is currently on there upside down. I wanted to see what it looked like. I'll probably flip it around 180 degrees and see where it might look better. Problem at the minute is it's the bar's slightly facing upwards, which is bugging me slightly, so I'll switch it around. Probably means I'm going to obscure the Scania logo, but never mind. And then I've got two work lights. Miro's making me a couple of work lights that just clip on the top, so that's cool. As well as the two work lights, making me a perimeter kit. He's also making me step lights to go in here. And if I switch the truck around a moment, he's making me a low bar with 4 circular spotlights in it that are going to have blue angel eyes in them, and a new visor. And he's sending me a pair of extra spotlights because on Facebook I saw this and I really like the look of it. Obviously a Dutch look with the light box and the beacons and the spotlights each side of it. So I actually had a light box in my spares. So when I get the visor, I'm going to do a little bit of trial and error and see what I can make look right. But we'll figure that out once I get the visor in place, because that needs to go in there no matter what. But if I get the light box, I'll take my old name thing off, and I'll put my proper logo on there, the same as that one, and that will look really nice. And then I'll take these 3 lights out, and where this little raised section is here, I'll put black vinyl over just to cover up those holes. And then I'm going to use sunroof as well. And then up here I'll put 5 marker lights along the top, like that one I saw on Facebook, because I think it looks really cool. And yeah, we'll go from there. As I say, I've still got to work that out, but I'll wait till I get the visor, because that's going in place regardless, and I'll work around that. I'm also tempted maybe to put a marker light up here somewhere, right on the outer edge. We'll see. I don't really want to take the flags off, that might be sacrilege, but I might have to move them, but I prefer not to. But yeah, so we're getting there, making good progress. I say I've still got to wait for the bits from Miro. I've still got plenty to do in the meantime, and then I'll put all those bits on. I need to paint the visor, also all the checker plate back here, that all needs to be painted black, and then I can sand the tops off. And there's a few other little bits and bobs that need a bit of paint, hubs and these pieces that go in there. And I would like to get an aircon pod. If I go with a light box with the beacons each side, I'll get an aircon pod, put it on the sunroof, paint that silver. I think that will look pretty nice. But yeah, so making good progress, but I'm happy. I'm enjoying this, seeing this thing finally get the upgrades it deserves. Of course, I've got a beer unit for it now as well, and that will sit on the back of the false wall. I'll show you more on that. I haven't actually put it in yet, but I'll show you that once I've started that process. Took the air horns off that were glued on. I've screwed them on now, so that's better. I used way too much glue on this truck when I first built it. Look, don't blame me. Alright, it was like 9 years ago when I built this thing and I didn't know left from right. Now I've learnt the do's and don'ts, or a lot more of them. I can now implement what I've learnt onto this, but we're getting there. So yeah, pretty happy with it so far, and I'll give you another update when I've made a bit more progress, but we're getting there. It looks good. So yeah, anyway, thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.